Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps lots. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. Alright folks, here we are on Monday, February 21st. The market is of course closed today for the holiday, but I thought it would be a good time to hop in and do a SoFi video in front of the trading week ahead, short though it may be. So I wanted to start here just for, annoyingly repetitive sort of pattern recognition, but I've been saying for several weeks that SoFi is just kind of getting lugged around with the overall markets, and when it has some risk on days and is jumping up nicely, it tends to run up with it, and when it has a big risk off day and is selling off, and especially selling off on the growth side of things, it suffers significantly from that. Now if you look here on the left, you have SoFi's chart, and I just stuck it to 5 days just to cover the last trading week, and then IWM, which is the Russell 2000 ETF, looks pretty similar, right? And so this is just to say again that yes, we'll focus on a SoFi video here, and I do look forward to getting back to them daily or near daily in the future. But until SoFi starts to kind of act like a stock unto itself, I'm going to do these sort of broader updates, less frequent updates, and that's kind of why. Now with earnings coming up, I have no doubt that that will sort of shake things loose. Things still have been having strong reactions to earnings. Now I think I mentioned last time, a little bit concerned about this upcoming earnings and what the reaction might be, and we can get into it when we're a little bit closer, so probably like in the next video if I don't do one for another week. But I'm a little bit concerned at a couple of things. One, what the loss is going to look like and how that's going to be perceived, and also what the user growth is going to look like and how that's going to be perceived. I have sort of the sense that a lot of the growth stocks that are getting clobbered on otherwise seemingly decent or even good earnings reports are getting clobbered because just the perception of losses, even if it's beating estimates, is just very rattling to the market right now. We'll see if that continues to be the case, and like I said, we'll dive into that a little bit deeper in a video much closer to earnings, but we'll see how that shakes out. Now looking at the daily here, just to reset ourselves, we have these couple of peaks up around $25, this big cup that was put in, and then this major sell-off here from about 25. Initially tried to recover around $14, got up to mid-16s, and then sold off down here, ultimately bottoming out recently around 10.50. Now I still think that's, again, similarly what continues to be the case is that the support and resistance at any given price structure at the moment, sorry for the screaming, is essentially centered around the $1.50 level, meaning 10.50 support, $11 resistance, $11 support, 11.50 resistance, so on and so forth. And I think you see that play out pretty solidly. If we come down to like the 10-minute chart here, just looking at any given day. So yes, I have this drawn in here at 12, but you see at 12:08, but like I have been saying for weeks, I would just consider that as 12, and I'd consider 11:10 as 11. You see it sort of getting some stickiness here right in the middle, right? Some sideways action here, and again, that's right around 11.50. And 11.17 on the low end of things, and then I don't know what during the trading day was, 12.23. So I just think that continues to relatively be the case. 13.17, 12.14, right? And this stickiness in here was right around the 12.50 mark. So day to day, we see this continuing to be the case, butting its head up against 13 the whole day here, bottoming out a little bit higher, 12.75. But I would just preface all of this by saying that unfortunately, and again, this is why I've peeled back on the frequency, it just seems to me to be the same thing as I've been saying. on the dollar and on the 50 cent, and it's getting dragged around predominantly by macro forces. So for what it's worth, as we head in toward earnings, and maybe we'll see a reaction, if we do see a strong bullish reaction, what I'm mostly going to be looking for is a significant move to 13, maybe even up and over 13, predominantly to break this remaining resistance level here. Of course, that sort of supposes that after this coming trading week, it won't be back under this resistance level, but I would keep an eye out for that. And I can kind of drag that over just in case we need it. I certainly hope we don't, but just in case, I'll put it there. But I mean, if we finish this week under that, that's probably going to stick us under 1050. So hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, if we do get, like I said, a solid bullish reaction to earnings, I would look for it to break this resistance, which started back late January, topped out here, and then it struggled, right? It's wicked out a few times and then tried to get the body of a candle above, to establish above here, and just hasn't been able to on the daily. So that would be my bullish hope. My bearish hope would be if there is a strong bearish reaction to earnings, I would hope that this 1050 holds up. I don't know how atrocious the reaction would be, as I'm sure you know, and this is not me wanting to spread fear, but we've seen a lots of drawdowns, 20, 25, 30%, some more. And of course, not just focused specifically on growth, right? There's been some companies that are certainly more established. I'm thinking of Netflix and Facebook, right, as obvious examples. And we have seen some that have reacted quite well to earnings too. So it feels like it's a little bit of an unknown at this point. I mean, earnings is always an unknown, but at least typically you don't have to deal with these wild swings based on kind of what would in a normal market, in air quotes, be seen as a positive earnings report, that it's taken as, oh, well, this stock is still losing money, this company is still losing money. There's the reminder that this company is not profitable yet, and it probably has some time until it will be so, and so it's too risky. Dump it, right? That's my concern. I don't know if that will be the case, but at the moment, things being what they are in the markets and earnings having been what they've been, that's my concern. And again, that's not 100% of what's happened across the board. Nothing is 100% of what's happened across the board, but I'm calling it a fear because, it would be a fear. But otherwise, that's what I'd be looking for. If this week we can get any establishment, any movement over 12, and even if we could start to push toward 1250, that would certainly put a lot of pressure on this resistance. We could see how it starts to sort of structure itself ahead of earnings. But I do also have a strong sense that given tapering, which I think is a bigger factor than is being talked about, and of course the rate hikes / inflation that kind of go hand in hand with each other, probably going to be the primary movers. And then throw into that soup, if you will, that sort of FUD soup or bear soup, throw into that the geopolitical concerns that are going on right now as well. And that could just sort of spike everything, in a certain direction. So we'll see what happens, but that's what I'm looking for the time being. For what it's worth, just to show sort of how on the fence everything feels. You see this a lot of like bullish flow coming in on Friday at the very end of the day for SoFi. That said, relatively small, like price points, right? Premium points. But look at how split it is here. The bullish premium on SoFi, 49.31%. The bearish premium, 50.69%. So almost split 50-50. And that's just, to me, sort of, signifies additionally so how uncertain everything is, and how things are looking even from maybe the whale's perspective for general stocks in the market, and especially growth stocks, maybe even especially fintech stocks. All right, folks. Well, I hope that your short trading week gets off to a good start tomorrow. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.